In life. Welcome to Rene Marie Stroke of Luck. Finally, how many minutes are we late? 13 minutes. But Nicole and I had some time to chat before. This is a really first of all, let me backtrack. And I know I'm all over the place because last Saturday we had the Unconditional Love concert. Nicole and I were just talking about it in the Zoom green room, and it was incredible. I'm flying. That's why my feet are not on the ground today. They haven't been on the ground since last Saturday. So please just bear with me. But with my energies, Nicole has really I'm so excited to start the conversation with Nicole, and I'll let her introduce herself. And how do you say your last name, Nicole?
Salzano.
Salzano. Are you Italian?
Yes, I am.
Salzano. You know, I'm going to share a little story in a little bit, but anyway, so Nicole and I really connected, and I think it was Ginny, one of our board member, who I got to give total gratitude for all the work she does on the back end to make these shows happen. Thank you so much, Ginny. I want to thank Diane and John for all the work they did on the Unconditional Love concert. But we're going to get right into chatting a little bit because we don't want to waste time. And Nicole has such an incredible story, and she's such a wonderful, upbeat stroke survivor that it really, if you are a stroke survivor, you will understand how important that is to have an upbeat attitude, because if you don't, you could really you don't recover. You don't recover so easily. You don't recover so easily. So I want to talk to her about her swimming prior, because she was a swimmer. I want to talk to her about her stroke experience. I want to talk to her about how her sports. She's a swimmer. I was a softball player. How our practices and our and how that helped us to navigate when we experience a stroke. And I want to talk to her about where we're all moving forward. And there's so many things to talk about. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we're sorry we're a little delayed. We had, some technical difficulties. I don't know what happened, but so let's get right into it. Nicole, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here and that we finally connected, and and divine timing, and we'll talk about the Elmwood Park and you being Italian in a little bit, but I don't want to stop the momentum. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about, tell us like what you did prior to your experience. Let's get into because as you know, stroke is only an experience you have in your life. Stroke is not who we are, how we operate, how we think. Stroke is just an experience. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm Nicole Salzano. I was in college. I was at Bryant University for 4 years. I majored in accounting, and I was on the swim team. I had a job, very, very, I guess, minuscule job. I mean, I would be a, what's the word I'm looking for? A helper for student athletes, for math or for writing, just to kind of get the student athlete, not a teacher, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so it was my last swim meet when I had my stroke. I was swimming so fast. I was swimming the 500 freestyle, which is 20 laps of freestyle. And I placed third going into finals, which I was so excited. I was so over the moon about. We went back to the hotel to rest up, to have lunch, to take a nap before heading back to the meet. And in that nap, I had my stroke. I
Did you
woke up suddenly.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you feel any different? Was there anything that, or were you so high on your achievements that you were just flying like I am right now?
I was just gonna, yeah, no, I was just flying. I was so happy. I had broke 5 minutes in the 500 freestyle, which is an accomplishment. So I was so over the moon. And so I was trying to take a nap because I was so excited, but I knew that I had to rest up so that I can do even better for finals that night. And that's when I had my stroke, and I was I was so devastated because I really wanted to swim my last meet because it was my last meet ever as a swimmer.
And you weren't going to take it in, you weren't going to, you know, possibly go into the Olympics or taken into any, this was going to be your last final. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I had a job lined up after graduation. I I was all in to this is my last meet and I was just going to give it my all.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And
Okay. So let's go like into the details about your stroke. So you
okay.
laid down to take a nap and did you go to sleep? Did you finally fall asleep?
So that is the weird thing. You know, I don't know if I fell asleep or if I passed out. That's a that's a gray area because you know when
Right.
you fall asleep, you don't really know that you
No.
fall asleep, like
Yeah,
you know
that's
that you
true.
fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that I fell asleep and then I had my stroke and then I just woke up suddenly. And
Well,
then I
tell
was
us about that because we spoke about that in the Zoom green room. You know, we were
yes.
talking about angels and how we're protected and how you know, we get little signs and you know, with me, you know, everybody knows I'm very public with it that, you know, I when I was risen up and I spoke to God and you know, he spoke, you know, he or she said to me, you know, I said, I don't want you to take me. And they said, I don't want to take you. You just have to remember, you always have to work for me. And I said, whatever you want me to do, just put me back down in my body. I got too much work to do on earth. But so and the truth is that people don't understand that, you know, like I experienced a stroke. Like it wasn't like a fun
Exactly.
ride to heaven and I came, you know, so
No.
yeah, so you had an experience similar to that and share with us your belief because you know everybody's got their own belief, but share with us honestly what you think happened during that.
So I I truly believe that my Grammy, she passed away when I was 10. And I believe that she woke me up. She was like, Nicole, you have to move so that someone can hear you and someone can call for help. So I went, I tried to get up, and I fell to the ground because my whole right side was numb. And my roommate instantly woke up. And I couldn't speak, I could only say due to the aphasia, which I didn't even realize that I had, slash, I didn't even know what aphasia was.
Right.
And the whole right side of my face was drooped. So my roommate, Heather, bless her soul, she went into action. She ran out of the room, called my coach, called my athletic trainer. They called my parents, which were in the same hotel as us, thank goodness,
Thank God.
and the and and called 911 because they knew something was wrong. I couldn't speak, I couldn't get up. Right side of my face was drooped. They knew that something was not
Yeah. Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, we spoke before that, you know, if you hadn't gotten up, if that little tap or the angel or who did you believe it was, your grandmother?
a Grammy.
Grammy got up and woke you up and you didn't get up and fall down, your
I
roommate
don't think
you would have just been sleeping. And well, as we know now, that time is of the essence when you suffer a stroke because you have to get to the hospital within 4.5 hours. The residuals will be much worse for you. So you know, so there's a lot of alignment that people need to, you know, listen to their insight and listen to themselves because you don't know why you got up.
no, I would imagine that I was like, oh, maybe I had to go to the bathroom, but I don't know. Something in the back of my mind is like, did I have to go to the bathroom, or was someone watching out for me?
Right.
And I think that was my Grammy, Margaret Mary,
Right.
and I'll be forever grateful, thankful,
Yeah.
blessed.
Do you have her as your guardian angel? Do you talk to her? Do you ask her for help? Do you believe she's still helping you? You know,
I do believe that she is still helping me. Honestly, I haven't been very grateful to God. Um, Sometimes I just wonder, why why did I have this? Why did he grant this on me? And I know that God gives the strongest warriors um God gives the strongest warriors problems that they can
they can deal with.
achieve.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been going back and forth with that.
And that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's okay. You have to grace yourself with the allowing yourself to feel the way you're feeling, because you know I was in that place after I suffered my stroke, but I didn't understand it. I'd get depressed, and I didn't know I was depressed because, it was just in me. But
Yep.
my family was like, what's so actually my sister had set me up with going to for therapy, with Light the Way counseling. And why I agreed to go was not because it was a counseling, but because they'd go in and I'd pray first, and and that was who I was. So I said, okay, I'll go and pray about it. I thought I was going, and I do. And I was saying to somebody yesterday, to this day, I go every year. Like, I go every year to make sure that, everything's good and my mind is still okay. And it's happened over 30 years ago for me. So it is a true blessing. It is a true blessing. But you do have to grace yourself with the permission to do that. But I could tell by talking to you that you don't stay in that space. It's like,
No, absolutely not.
yeah, why? But okay, like, I'll deal with that later. I got too much work to do.
Oh, absolutely. I don't stay in that space very often, every once in a while I'm like, wow, it's like we have to feel as stroke survivors like grief of what once were, but then also we also have to be so gracious, so blessed that we are alive,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you can be grieving, but you can also be happy at the same time.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
And the truth is, Nicole, right? I mean, the only thing in life that's guaranteed is change. whether whether
exactly.
whether it's financially, whether it's your job, whether it's cancer, whether it's heart, or whether it's a stroke, no matter what it is, every day is going to change. And I think that's one of the life lessons that you got to learn from this experience, or any experience, is that okay, what new road am I going to take? Sometimes when I'm driving, and I love like a highway vision, when I'm driving and I see like the different lanes, and I'm okay, which lane am I going to take? You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
which lane do I have the right to figure out which lane I want to go down? Do
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want to go
absolutely.
do I want to go down the lane where I feel sorry for myself, or do I want to go down the lane that I want to be upbeat and I want to be an inspiration to the people? But I will tell you that doing this show for many years, 10 years we've been doing this show, that I've met so many stroke survivors and I actually was an ambassador for stroke patients when I was in Valley Hospital, that some of us don't comprehend what we need to do, right?
Yes.
You and I understand that we have to stay upbeat. Yes, we get, but sometimes you just don't get it. You can't comprehend it. You don't get it. So, you have to love them through it and just kind of like support them. Dominic Cordelessa, who I always talk about, was an angel to me because once I was working for Pumptonian Food Service, which is, they're in Elmwood Park. They are the best food service, the best company in the entire world. They're just like loving. It was a great job. I'd get laid off during the summer. I'd get laid off during Christmas. I'd get laid off during Thanksgiving. You get a summer break.
Yep.
It was a great job. And God didn't want me there anymore. And I would pass that at work and this and that. So anyway, so I left my job, and very hard, very, not the right way. I left it, but I just couldn't take it anymore. I told them I had to leave, and without anything in the works. So I finally got another job with Wanacue Reserve. And Dominic Cordelessa was the not the board president at the time, but became the board president. And he was a gentleman that worked for Citibank around the world, I believe. Citibank, don't quote me on that, but he became the president. And because I say he worked for Citibank, he knew how to empower people and get the best out of people that he could get out of them, right? Because he would sit down and he'd learn about us, and so he would do that with everybody, not just me. But with me, he realized that I had like this vision and I had this passion. And so he helped me navigate it. He helped me to understand what my purpose was and what I should be doing. And one thing that he said to me was, and Rene, if you want to talk to the public, you have to put your feet on the ground. You can't be up here floating. You can't, because nobody's like, I was like, I want to do this and that. And then he's like, you just can't do it that way. You can't do it that way. You have to speak their language. You have to talk slow. So,
Yes.
so so it was hard. It was hard for me, but thank God that I had everybody in my life, and I followed the steps that I needed to follow. But it's really difficult when you can't comprehend, and help people.
I mean, absolutely. And I have such a supportive family, friends, and that's what get me going too, is just not disappointing them, but also not disappointing myself either. And I was so driven. I don't know if it's because of the athlete, like both of us. I think it's the athleticism, the competition,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
between me and me.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not right. That's another thing. Like with me, it wasn't about me and anybody else. It was like me. I'm
Yeah.
going to do
Oh
the
yeah.
best. I was telling you before, I was a third baseman. So you have to protect yourself. Like I used to play
Oh yes.
even with the pitcher, and the batter was right there, and they'd either bunt or they'd slam the ball in your face, and you have
Yes.
to be ready for it. And all that really helped me, like you said, to stay focused and to be compassionate, not compassionate, to be passionate about things, to be enthusiastic, and to really drive that wheel. And that is what helped us to recover. I'm 100 million% positive of that.
Absolutely. Again, I viewed my stroke recovery as a sport because swimming was over. So, all right, stroke recovery
You
sport.
were
Sport. Here
literally
we
done
go.
with swimming.
Yeah. So I kind of pivoted, and I always am saying, stroke recovery is a sport, sink or swim.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So after this happened, how long were you in rehab? How did rehab happen for you and transpire? And
So,
did they bring you
I
back home? They brought you back home, right?
so I actually, when I went to the hospital, they got the TPA, the clot buster, and then, um, like 13 hours later, I had a brain bleed. So I had to they had to take my left skull flap and put it in my abdomen for 6 weeks. So I was in the hospital and inpatient center for I think it was 82 days
Oh my
because
God. Nicole.
I had to go to the hospital, then the inpatient facility, then the hospital again to get my um skull back on, and then went and did the inpatient facility. So I was there until May May 15th. I think May 15th. So from February 22nd till May 15th.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And that once again, you were guided, because if you didn't have the TPA,
Yes,
you would have had this brain bleed home or out in the, and you may have not made it. You may have not made it,
exactly.
and that's pretty intense. That's like my father. He worked for Meals on Wheels, and he was walking uh, um, down a hill, just to get to the van, the Meals on Wheels, and he twisted his ankle and he broke his ankle. But while he was in the hospital, he had a heart attack. So if
Oh
he didn't,
my.
if he didn't break his ankle, he wouldn't have been in the hospital when he had his heart attack, and we would have might have not had 3 more years with my father. So, like, it was. I know.
Crazy.
I know. It's, like you have to love the process. You have to really respect the process, and know we had 3 more great years with my father, because, he broke his ankle, and then he went in and he was in ICU for a few days. So it was crazy. It was crazy. So then they, and I can't even imagine, well, Derek Huff, right? His wife dancing with the
Yes.
stars.
Yes. Yes.
So you understand. You understand.
Oh,
Tell me,
absolutely.
Nicole, I always try to, I always ask people this question, because people don't understand how it feels. How did it feel? How were you feeling? What was going through, like, your mind?
So honestly, the probably like the first week um that I was having the stroke, and then I did not I don't remember because I was on so many medications. Um oxycodone, I was on fentanyl, I was on um so
Which
many
is
other medications
which is
that
probably a gift, so
honestly,
you don't know what's going on. You're kind of just like going the road.
exactly. So I don't remember the first couple of days. And again, I think that is a gift because I don't know if I would want to remember the first
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
days,
yeah.
but my parents remember it, and my boyfriend remembers it, and all of my other family remembers it, and it's so super hard. Like it's not just like me who had the stroke, it was everyone around me,
Yeah.
and it's I know that it's not like my fault, but it's just like it's so heartbreaking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I vividly remember laying in the hospital in the East ER, and my father at the foot of my bed, and he had this look on his face, because I couldn't talk. I was like, I was laying there. I
Yep.
wasn't as severe as you, because I didn't have a brain bleed, but, like, over 30 years ago, strokes are not as well known as they are now. They weren't even talked about back then. And I remember him having this. I just vividly see it. This look on his face. And then my sister, and I had my husband at the time, and my daughter. She was 6 months. I mean, my grandmother and my mother-in-law came and took turns with my daughter. I can't even imagine, now all these, I'm remembering all these stories, but it's just, it's it's true. You just don't experience it yourself. Your family does, your loved ones do, it's really crazy. It's very
Oh,
sad. It's very
absolutely.
heartbreaking for them, to be on the
To
outside.
watch.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even I forgot to mention my sister. My sister, she was 2.5 years younger than me, and just to like see, it. I mean, my sister and my boyfriend are the same age, and it's just like to watch me go from, goal-driven athlete to like an infant, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just so so sad sometimes,
Yeah.
but then I always have to like reframe it because I say like, okay, yeah, but as soon as I was with it, I
Yeah.
got right to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
um
But you needed
and
that time to recoup,
exactly.
to set your brain up. I mean, I was in a semi coma for a week. I was out of it. Wasn't, they didn't know if I was coming back or not, but at that particular time, I know, my body was, getting set up for the next phase of my life, so
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. Yeah. So, talk to us about, those few months that you were in the rehabilitation. How many days? 70 days or 80 days or whatever?
Just gonna
Um,
say about that, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, talk to us about like the daily things that you had to accomplish. What did you do because they must have kept you busy, in rehabs and stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, the doctor said that I wouldn't walk, talk, or use my right arm again. Um, and so I took that as a challenge. So we were like standing up first because we have to learn how to stand up first before we can learn how to walk because we need balance.
Right, right,
And then for my right arm, like just like lying down on the bed and actively pushing through that right arm,
right, right.
just something to get the ball rolling. And it's so funny. One of the, I don't even remember who I was talking to, but it was a PT actually. His name was Jerry, and he said, what was the most frustrating thing for you? The paralysis slash hemiplegia, or the aphasia? And I said, you know what? At first, it was the aphasia because I couldn't say anything.
Right, right.
And I knew with working out and
Yes,
with the
yes,
swimmer and everything, like I knew I can get
yeah.
back to not normal, but
Well, it is normal. It's your normal.
exactly. But I I was really trying to I guess wonder, like, speaking, like that's something that comes naturally, and I don't know how to I don't know how to quote unquote work on speaking as well as, the exercises that I can do
Right,
by
right.
myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and when I've had many, of course I couldn't speak either, but I didn't understand it back then, but as I navigated through this journey of doing shows and stuff, what the one thing that we try to tell aphasia, experienced people that come on the show is, because sometimes they get nervous and sometimes they get a little bit anxious because they can't remember the words. And honestly, it just takes like relax. Don't worry about it. Like it'll come to you, like don't put pressure on yourself because that pressure just hinders the ability to say or do whatever you want to do. And I'll never forget we had these people on the show, and I loved, there was such an example of love and of support. this woman had a stroke. She had aphasia, and her husband, he was her supporter, and they, doing work together. And she was having trouble coming up with the words. And he didn't step in. He said to her, let me know when you want me to help. So that was such a perfect moment in time, because it's like, I'm here. If you need help, I'm here. Don't worry about it. But he didn't step in, because sometimes family and friends, they do too much for us, and they're doing it out of love, and they want to help us.
Exactly.
But sometimes we gotta go through the struggles ourselves, because we're not gonna be able to accomplish it if we don't, so there's got to be a happy balance, about that.
Absolutely. So, Renee, I know that you are speaking so eloquently, so perfectly. How long, like, take me back to like your journey and your recovery for like speaking.
Oh my God, it was over 30 years. And I honestly, well, I'm like you, right? I'm like driving this, like
Yes.
just like, I'm not even like, I don't, I remember like when I had to go for physical therapy, right? They'd go, okay, throw the balls in the basket. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, what else? Like, I don't even like
Yeah.
it. It's like, and the sad thing is that, I don't remember a lot of stuff. Like, some stuff comes back to me, but I'm so driven. And that's why, like, this unconditional love concert that I did the other day is about me breathing and enjoying the moments and celebrating life with the people in the audience and with the people that are there, and everything, because I have to be able to get to that point. I don't know if you're at that point yet, but I wasn't at that point. I was like in this car driving fast, and and I had a daughter, and then I got another child, and then I was working, and I mean, life just took off, which is a good thing,
Yes.
but I'm so blessed to be 62 years old and to have this moment, to be able to appreciate life and value life, and really treasure each moment that happens, because up until now I didn't take the time to do that. I was just life is busy, and I, especially in New Jersey, New Jersey is not like other states, and it was challenging. I do remember not being able to talk, and I do remember going to speech therapy, and I do remember one of the hardest things was I couldn't sing for 2 years. Now that's like,
Really?
yes, that just ripped my heart out, that I wasn't able to vocalize. But the vocals, when you sing, it's all about the diaphragm, and being able to use your vocals correctly. It's not just about singing so much. And it took me a long time to work through that and to get my voice back, and that's why it's so important for me to continue to sing. I don't really know the timeline of my aphasia recovery. I don't even know the timeline. I can't even couldn't even begin to tell you the timeline. How long did it take you to be able to start to speak again?
That's a great question. I mean, speaking in full sentences, I don't know, maybe towards the end of this, like the 70 days or so. I mean, I would always say like, but I would actually, um, there was like a voice in my head just saying like, keep going. And my therapist, as soon as I, was with it, um, I, they, they told me to sing Happy Birthday and You Are My Sunshine. And even though it was so low and so monotoned, I mean, I knew, I was like, oh, I can do this.
Mhm.
So then I started to sing the alphabet.
Singing
No,
is another side of your brain. So it was,
exactly.
they were smart to, since you couldn't think to speak, to use that other side of your brain.
Yes, no, and then no therapist told me to sing the alphabet, but I was like, you know what? I can sing the alphabet because it was one of the first songs that we learned, right?
Right, right,
A, B, C, D.
right,
And so then I could get to the word I was looking for, like dog, like A, B, C, D, D, and then I would have to think for a lot. I would go through the entire alphabet, but it was a it was a push that I needed to
right,
get speaking again.
right, right, right. So what do you think? Well, the Adler's Aphasia Center, you're doing their gala, I think I saw. Tell me
Yes.
about that. Tell me a little bit
So,
about that.
I've been volunteering at the Adler Aphasia Center for almost 7 years. It
Wow.
was 6 months after my stroke, um, that I started volunteering there. And I am, I am, I have the honor of accepting an award. I think it's called the Shining Star Award.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because I am so, I have been posting on Instagram. I've been public speaking about aphasia, about strokes, because not many people, especially like high school, college age, even even sometimes, adults, they don't know what aphasia is. I mean, I didn't know what aphasia was until I had it.
Right, right,
So I just want to raise awareness, and educate people on aphasia. And it's not, we're not stupid.
right,
It's just, it's not intellect that is affected. It's just the word finding.
right, 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 right. And the truth is, I mean, I know this is a topic for conversation, but I actually know in my experience that sometimes to process, just especially when I get tired, and I still have like lingering effects. When I get
Oh,
tired, I know myself, can't think about it, got to go to bed. Got to go to bed.
yes.
But that's with anybody, everybody's got their strong points and weak points. But so I know that I have to think and process. I know that processing things is hard to understand. Like sometimes you'll be talking to me back a long time ago, and I couldn't comprehend what you're saying to me because it wasn't processing. So it was just probably because I was tired. But so I
Yes.
know that played an intricate part in my recovery as well. But yes, most of the time it's that you can't find the words that you want to say, and it's challenging. It's hard. It's hard.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, and it's it's also when you are, quote unquote normal, and you have not had have anything wrong, and then you go from that to not being able to speak. It's like in the matter of seconds,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's it's
Yeah.
it's gone. And I think that as stroke survivors, we can really appreciate a lot of stuff that we used to take for granted.
Yeah, yeah, and that's an awareness, that, and
Absolutely.
everybody should get that awareness. I wrote a book, and the last line of the book is life is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. It doesn't, I mean, sad to say, but we may not be here tomorrow or in 5 minutes, like
Exactly.
we don't think about life like that, but it is a gift. It's very sad. It's very, it's an honor to be able to walk this earth, even with the challenges that we have, So when is the Adler's? I mean, when I began on this journey, I guess it was about 15 years ago. I sang at the Adler's Aphasia Center, and Elaine Adler, who was did you know Elaine?
No, I didn't get the privilege of meeting her.
What an incredible woman. And her husband, Mike, what an incredible couple. I'm telling you, and so graceful and so loving. And just, they made Adler's Aphasia Center to be such a place of comfort that when you walk in, and now it's beautiful. I didn't know. I just went there like last year, and I met with I forget her name, the officer there, the manager,
Naomi?
Naomi. I met with Naomi, and she walked me around, and I'm like, wow, this place has come. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's
It
beautiful.
is. It's such it's a happy place,
Yeah.
and it's so loving. I love
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's what it's important about. They have classes, and they paint,
Mhm.
and they do theater, and they do concert. Like, it's just an incredible, it's perfect. It really is a good place. And there's other locations around as well.
Yes, there is one in Tom's River. No, not Tom's. Yeah, I think Tom's River, and then also um W, and W is West Orange.
Wow.
Um, I'm 90% or 80% sure it's Tom's River as well, but now I'm second guessing myself, but definitely West Orange as well.
Just give me 2 seconds, because I'm working as well as doing the show. Go around to the garage.
You are a working lady.
You know what? You just have to do what you got to do. Like, life is life.
Mhm.
I can't. Somebody's ringing the doorbell because there's an event going on where I work, and we had to move it inside because of the rain. And there's someone at the front door. I know my maintenance staff is in there, but like I don't want her to sit there in the rain while I'm on the show. So I just texted her, go around the garage. So, Nicole, we're almost done, and I can't believe it. So the next time, why don't you see, because you're only 10 minutes from me, come and we'll do a live show together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll do it downstairs. I did it in my office today because everything is packed up and I didn't have time to reset it. But it's funny. I want to tell you about the Elmwood Park and you being Italian and stuff. So, and I know you believe in God and angels and all that kind of stuff. So I was invited by Giovanni. Do you know Giovanni? He sings. He's an Italian singer. I mean, he's an Elmwood Park, guru, or not guru. So when we were rehearsing for the concert, he said, "Oh, I'm doing singing at this operatic concert that's going to be at Elmwood Park High School. Why don't you guys come?" Da da da. So John, the gentleman I was talking to you about, was also from Elmwood Park. Said, "Oh, we'd like to go." Da, da, da. So we go, and it was such a surreal moment for me because my father used to own two delis in Elmwood Park. My father is Italian. My father, he loved talking Italian. They talked Italian behind our backs when they didn't want us to hear them. And everybody was talking Italian there. But then on the flip side, and we got to go into this another time, is my mother, who my parents were separated, because my mother was an opera singer and she traveled around the world singing. So here I was in Elmwood Park, where my father had his two shows, listening to the Italians talk, with Giovanni singing Italian, and then these operatic women singing. And I'm like, wow, my mom and my dad, and like it was just a real surreal moment for me. And I'm trying to figure out like why, why was I at that place? What, and usually I really don't go to things at night during the week because I'm so busy with my grandchildren and my show and my work and my foundation and all that kind of stuff. But I went, so I'm trying to figure out like, why I'm just waiting for the answer from up above so that I could.
Absolutely, yes.
So we have so much more to talk about, but
Yes.
what's if you're going to like leave everybody with a thought process, what would that be?
I always like to say the power of yet, because yet is one of the most important words because it's present, it's right now, it's where your feet are, but also it's in the future too. Like, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And you don't.
You should quote that,
Yeah.
You should mark that. You don't know what you don't know. And the
Yeah.
power yet. Honestly, like write them down and stream them. Like, and that's a conversation piece. It really, really very important. Two good verbiages, like yet, and you don't know what you don't know. That's like so true. That's so true.
Oh, absolutely. Because, um, I'm not able to walk yet, but
Yeah.
down the line, I don't know what will happen. I want to, so I'm gonna strive for it. But right
Yeah.
now, in the present moment, I can't yet, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's incredible. So we're going to end on that. Nicole, it was such a pleasure meeting you and connecting with you because you're so lively and upbeat and you're making such a huge difference in the stroke world and you're bringing some light to the stroke world and the aphasia world, like life does not end after strokes, and look what we're doing, and join, like it's just an incredible thing what you're doing, and I'm so happy to have finally connected with you, Ginny and Diane and everybody there. Like, you have to meet Nicole. You got to meet Nicole. So it was perfect timing.
Absolutely, and same with you as well. And it's Stroke Awareness Month, so
Yes. Maybe we'll do like a show. Come over. We'll do a stroke awareness show together. Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. So we'll connect and we'll talk about like a date. We'll set a date and we'll do a stroke awareness show, like an added show
Yes.
this month. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Oh, by the way, we're Facebook Live. Like I sometimes forget, like we're just sitting here talking and I forget that we're streaming around the world. Like that.
Yeah.
I forget all the time. Okay, audience, we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining us. This is only the beginning of our conversation. It was a pleasure to meet Nicole and to really have this one-on-one time with her, and have a stroke of luck in your life and enjoy the moments. And Nicole, as Nicole said, you don't know what you don't know. Right, Nicole?
Exactly.
On 3, we always blow our kisses if you feel comfortable. 1, 2, 3. Bye, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yo no sé qué tú piensas, yo no sé lo que haré, yo no sé lo que estoy perdiendo, yo no sé lo que va a pasar. No me puedes escuchar llorar solo sin ti, no me se escucha